So if you go out into real courts, if you go out and watch trials tomorrow, you could see a million different ways that attorneys work with exhibits, that attorneys go through the process of asking their funny questions about how to lay the foundation for exhibits, and how they eventually get on to the most important part, which is using that exhibit at trial. We at this school and in this program offer you up an example of that. We offer you up an example that, that will work out in the world and will work in most courts out in the world. Not to say that there aren't people that do it different, or courts or judges that want it a different way. I want you to think about it in the following steps. The first step is, before you ever pick up a piece of paper that will be your exhibit at trial, you provide context for that exhibit. That is, I want it to be where the whole room knows. The judge knows, the jury knows, opposing counsel knows. They know what I'm talking about by the time I grab the exhibit in my hand before I approach the witness. So I would actually ask questions of my witness about this. Did we develop a cover of the brochure? What size was that cover? What was the picture that was depicted on that cover? Did we use words? Did we use a caption? Yeah, I have all these contextual questions where everyone in the room knows that I'm talking about the cover of our summer trial and advocacy program. They know that I'm talking about this exhibit because I've put it in context and I haven't muddled it together with a bunch of other testimony or questions about other exhibits. Once I get to that point and I've established proper context, I then pick it up in hand. And then I go into, now that it's introduced, understand that it's not something that's shown to the jury. It's a secret to the jury. I want to get through the next steps that are the foundational steps with the witness, all the way to admitting it into evidence, all the way to publishing it so they can see it as quickly and efficiently as possible. Because I don't want this secret to go on too long when the jury doesn't get the benefit of seeing the exhibit that I have in my hand. So we try to make this part as tight as possible. I approach the witness. Your Honor, I am holding Government's Exhibit 1 for identification. May I approach? I call it Exhibit 1 for identification because before it's in evidence, it needs that tag for identification. I assume that opposing counsel has seen it. If not, if they haven't seen it, I need that on the record as well. Showing opposing counsel, Government's Exhibit 1 for identification. May I approach? Eventually, this document makes it up with the witness, and I go through 4 very quick questions. Do you recognize this? Yes. What is it? This is the cover sheet to the program that we designed, with a picture of the cityscape of San Francisco and the banner of the program across it. How is it that you recognize this? I recognize it because I had a hand in making it, we got the image, we put it on, and we made this part of our brochure. Is it a fair and accurate copy of the photo that you created as the top of this brochure? It is, it's fair and accurate. At this time, government moves Government's Exhibit 1 for identification into evidence. Now there may be an evidentiary battle that ensues, there may be an objection posed that I have to respond to, but that's the point that hopefully the court says it'll be received, it'll be admitted into evidence. From that, the secret is over, it can be revealed to the jury. And my suggestion to you is, as soon as you get to that point, as efficiently as you get through those steps of admitting it into evidence, you request to publish. May the government publish Government's Exhibit 1 now in evidence by putting it on the big screen. And you do. And when you get it up there, you're not quite done yet. So you've put it in context, you've laid the foundation, you've admitted it into evidence, you've requested to publish it, and you've got it up on the board. The last step is then to use this exhibit. Now that the jury is looking at the front of our brochure, why did you pick this particular city landscape? Why did you pick the black banner going across? How did you decide that this was going to be the cover of your Summer Trial and Advocacy Program's brochure? I use it. There was a reason why I wanted this exhibit as part of my case presentation. That reason should be realized in the way I use it. So, ask contextual questions, ask very tight foundational questions, the 4. Do you recognize it? What is it? How do you recognize it? Is it in substantially the same condition? You then admit the document, you then publish the document, and most importantly, once published, once the secret is out, you use the exhibit.